You know that feeling when you need to study or go to the gym or work on something important and your brain immediately goes, let's check our phone instead? Yeah, we need to fix that. Because I'm about to show you how to rewire your brain to actually crave doing hard things. Look, I used to be the king of procrastination. I'd spend 2 hours preparing to study, organizing my desk, making the perfect playlist, getting snacks, and then somehow it's nighttime and I've done absolutely nothing. And the worst part? I'd feel terrible about it, but then do the exact same thing the next day. And maybe you're the same. You set goals, you know what you should do, but when it's time to actually do it, your brain finds a million reasons why later sounds better. Here's what nobody tells you. Your brain isn't broken. It's actually working exactly as designed. The problem is, it's designed for survival in the ancient world, not for success in the modern world. Your brain operates on something called the path of least resistance. Basically, it's always scanning for the easiest option, because thousands of years ago, conserving energy meant staying alive. So when you're choosing between scrolling social media or studying for your exam, your brain sees social media as the safer choice. Instant reward, zero effort, no discomfort, no risk of failure. Hard things? They trigger your brain's threat detection system. Unknown outcome, possible failure, guaranteed discomfort. Your brain treats it like danger. And here's the worst part. Every single time you choose the easy path, you're literally training your brain that hard things are threats to be avoided. You're building a neural pathway that says, stay in comfort at all costs. But here's the good news. You can completely rewire this. You can make your brain crave hard things the same way it currently craves easy things. And it's not about willpower or motivation. It's about understanding how your brain actually works. First, we need to talk about dopamine. Most people think dopamine is the pleasure chemical. It's not. It's the wanting chemical. It's what makes you crave things, what makes you pursue things. And here's the crazy part. Your brain releases more dopamine during the pursuit of a reward than when you actually get the reward. That's why you can scroll for hours and never feel truly satisfied. Each scroll promises something interesting, so your brain keeps hunting. So here's the hack. Make hard things feel like a hunt, like a pursuit. Before you start that hard task, spend just 1 minute visualizing the outcome. Not in a vague way. Get specific. If you're about to study, see yourself walking into that exam feeling confident and prepared. If you're about to work out, see yourself a month from now, stronger and healthier. Your brain will release dopamine for the chase itself, and suddenly starting doesn't feel so heavy. You've turned the hard thing into something your brain wants to pursue. Here's the truth. Starting is 80% of the battle. Your brain resists starting because it imagines the entire mountain you have to climb. I need to study for 3 hours sounds absolutely terrible. Of course you don't want to do it. So here's what you do. Lie to your brain. Tell yourself you're only going to do it for 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes of studying, 2 minutes of working out, 2 minutes of working on that project. Here's what happens most of the time. You'll keep going, because once you actually start, the resistance melts away. It's called the Zeigarnik effect. Your brain hates leaving things unfinished. But even if you stop at 2 minutes, you still win, because you're teaching your brain that starting hard things isn't dangerous. You're rewiring that neural pathway, one small action at a time. The resistance is always highest before you start. Once you're in motion, it gets easier. This next one completely changed my perspective. We're taught our entire lives that discomfort is bad, that if something feels hard, it means we should stop or avoid it. But what if discomfort is actually the signal that you're growing? Think about working out. Your muscles don't grow when you're resting on the couch. They grow when you stress them, tear the fibers, and let them rebuild stronger. Your brain works exactly the same way. When you do hard things, you're literally building new neural connections. You're upgrading your brain's operating system. So when you feel that resistance, that I really don't want to do this feeling, that's not a stop sign. That's actually a growth sign. It means you're at the edge of your comfort zone, which is exactly where growth happens. I started saying to myself, oh, there's that growth feeling, and I'd lean into it instead of running from it. It sounds too simple, but language literally rewires how your brain interprets signals. You're not suffering, you're leveling up. Now here's the real game changer. Stop trying to do hard things. Start being someone who does hard things. There's a massive difference between saying, I'm going to work out today, and saying, I'm someone who works out. One is just an action you might or might not do. The other is your identity. When something is part of your identity, skipping it feels wrong, like you're betraying yourself. So ask yourself, who do I want to become? Do you want to be disciplined? Do you want to be someone who follows through? Someone who doesn't quit when things get tough? Then start acting like that person right now, even in tiny ways, because every single action you take is a vote for your identity. Miss one workout? That's one vote. But show up anyway? That's a vote for the person you're becoming. Do this enough times and your brain gets the message. Oh, this is who we are now. This is what we do. And once it becomes your identity, the behavior becomes automatic. Here's what nobody tells you about discipline and consistency. It's not about being perfect, it's about momentum. Every time you do the hard thing, even for just 5 minutes, you're adding weight to one side of the scale. And every time you avoid it, you're adding weight to the other side. Don't think about having to do this perfectly forever. Just think about winning today, just today. Because here's the truth. One day of discipline makes tomorrow easier, and one day of avoiding makes tomorrow harder. It compounds, both directions. So the question isn't, can I do this forever? The question is, can I do this right now, just for today? And the answer is almost always yes. Let me tell you what finally clicked for me. I was avoiding this big project for an entire week. I'd sit down to work on it, feel anxious, and then distract myself. This went on for days. And then I realized something crazy. I spent 7 days feeling anxious and guilty about a project that took me 3 hours to actually complete. The avoidance, the guilt, the stress, that was way harder than just doing the work. Most of the time, the fear of the task is worse than the task itself. Your brain creates this terrifying version of the hard thing that doesn't actually exist. So I made a deal with myself. Just start. If it's as bad as I think, I can stop. And you know what? It wasn't bad at all. It was actually kind of interesting, and I felt amazing afterward. That taught me that most of our resistance is based on imagination, not reality. So here's the bottom line. Your brain will crave whatever you consistently feed it. Right now, it craves easy because that's what you've been giving it. But it can learn to crave growth. It can learn to crave challenge. It can learn to become better. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're just running old programming that doesn't serve you anymore. And starting right now, today, you can rewrite that code. Pick one hard thing you've been avoiding. Tomorrow morning, before you do anything else, give it just 10 minutes. That's all. And notice how different you feel after, because the version of you that does hard things feels powerful, and the version that avoids them feels helpless. You get to choose which one you become, so go do that hard thing. Your future self is waiting for you.